By that.
I first of all wanted to start by congratulating the King and his foresight in creating Sagia and creating this event. It's really very impressive. I think it's the most important event that you have here for not just you, but for the world. I think it's very important for us to get together. I really want to congratulate him and the Kingdom for doing what he's done. I'm going to take a different tact on the subject. I'm actually going to stick to the title, Shifts in the Energy Landscape, and talk about shifts. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit to the converted already, in the sense that I'm going to say a statement that energy in the future, as it has been in the past, but more in the future, is the driving force for economic and social development. And that's what your King has done here with Sagia, really using it to do that for you, but for the world at large. But I'm going to add to that statement. In the history of mankind, different energy sources have brought social transformations over time, from water, from fire, to steam engines, electricity, to oil, and we are in a new transformation to a new energy form, a new energy structure. And it's about technology. And all the people who spoke about their resource base spoke about technology. It's a technology game. That's the major shift in the energy landscape. It's not raw materials, it's technology. It's making those raw materials clean, and Tom, you highlighted that in your case, making them cleaner. And who owns that technology and who drives that technology is going to help all of us out in a much better world as we go forward. Very important to keep that in mind. I want to tie my comments also to the very first meeting, this session this morning that I thought was fantastic, with the introductory speech and the commentaries about shifting geography, about shifting landscapes and shifting roadmaps. I think we're too old-fashioned in this room, this presentation. Every map we have shown shows the Western Hemisphere on the left as you look at it, and the Eastern Hemisphere on the right. That's 2 centuries old, that map. That has Germany at the center, because the German cartographer made that map. Change that map and put the Eastern Hemisphere on the left of your screen, and the Western Hemisphere on the right, and you have a different world. Geography. China's at the center of that map. Draw a line from Saudi Arabia into the Caspian, into Russia, towards Canada, and you have the majority of the world's raw materials of almost everything, including the new renewable technologies, because a lot of those are based out of China and being built in China now. And the world works on geography. What's along that curve? I call that the Saudi, Caspian, Siberian, Canadian corridor. It's a very long-winded term. Is the biggest market in the world, called China and India. That's the shifting landscape. Very, very dramatic. Tied to that, the shifting landscape of it's not the raw material, it's the technology. Clean technologies. And every raw material has the possibility of being clean in the future, and it will be clean in the future. Another shifting dynamic is, it's a bad word here in the Kingdom, I apologize, natural gas. Technology has revolutionized natural gas. Shale gas in the United States. We've gone from 30-year supply to 150-year supply. It may be happening in China as we speak as well. I'm not so sure about Western Europe. But it's there, and it's going to be a dominant force to help us through the transition we have to get through, along with oil and the other things we're talking about. But that's a whole new dynamic. And another dynamic I want to talk about is a very important shifting dynamic, which I think we do like in Saudi Arabia. It's called demand. Demand will be very different in the future. I'm very impressed how RTZ knows how they use their energy. 90% of the companies in the world do not know how they use their energy. They pay a bill, they don't know what they're doing with that energy, they just pay a bill. We have today the technologies, if we use them, to know exactly how we're using energy and cut our consumption by, in some cases, 90% if we do it properly. That's companies. Add to that what we heard about this morning, I call it the power of one. We heard about in the healthcare discussion and earlier on, is IT. Information technology will allow every individual consumer to reduce their consumption of energy dramatically. And I'm going to say by an order of magnitude if we really apply it. That just changed the world and the dynamic. It didn't affect Saudi Arabia. We need your oil. It says we all have more to use more efficiently, for a longer time, in a more satisfactory and sustainable way. So those are some forces that have shifted dynamics dramatically on us as we go forward. And I put demand shift as the most important, natural gas demand shift, supply is the second most important, and the revelation that it's a technology game, and you here in the kingdom could be one of the technology leaders in oil itself and other areas. And the world is looking for you to help in that process. Thank you for listening.